This week on Instant Boxing, George Groves gets an opponent, JoJo Diaz smashes Terrazas, and SuperFly 2. The tailgate was on and popping. Let's go! Welcome back to Instant Boxing. I'm your host, Albert Baker. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at @TheAlbertBaker. Follow us also at UTHW Boxing and at Under the Hand Wraps on Instagram. Also follow Instant Boxing at Instant Boxing on Twitter and Instagram. In the World Boxing Super Series, George Groves got himself an opponent. Callum Smith outpointed Nieky Holtzkin as expected. This was so expected that even the press release said to expect the expected.
Didn't even try.
Nieky Holtzkin, I'm sure he's a great guy. Good European fighter, may not be an international fighter. George Groves is an elite fighter on an international level. Callum Smith, proving to be a capable fighter, still undetermined whether or not he is an international level talent. We're going to see against George Groves. I'm looking forward to this. This is really heating up. Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. You're going to have Alexander Usyk versus Murat Gassiev. George Groves versus Callum Smith. That's a good card. Either way, you slice it, dice it.
It dices, it slices.
Mix it up. That's going to be a good card to watch. Can't wait to see it on YouTube. But nevertheless, since it's on YouTube, I can stream it from wherever I'm at.
You know something? You suck.
Had an opportunity to go to the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio this weekend. Saw Joseph JoJo Diaz starch Victor Vikingo Terrazas. That's Viking for those of you that know habla de español.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Victor Terrazas, way past his prime, seen better days definitely, came in as kind of a stay-busy opponent for a Diaz Jr. who is long past the building prospect phase and now is into the very serious contender phase. Diaz only took 3 rounds to take care of business. In the first round, dropped Terrazas twice, once with the left hook to the body and once with the left hook upstairs. Then in the third round, it would take just another hook for Terrazas to go down once more. He would not get back up from a shot to the body. Joseph JoJo Diaz calling out Gary Russell Jr. at the end of that fight.
You are next.
Russell Jr. now mandated by the WBC to face Diaz. Word on the street is that they will serve as the co-main event in Canelo versus Triple G, which should sound good to Gary Russell Jr. because that would equate to a significant payday for him. And Diaz Jr. sounds like he's ready to fight him for free. He's been calling him out so much. We will see if that's the case when it comes. There may be other deals in the works for Russell Jr. to maybe vacate and then fight against Ali Selby because it's more of an in-house thing as Selby's advised by Al Heyman, and then you got all that other good stuff that's going on that doesn't sound good to people like us, the fans, but that's the business of boxing, and the business of boxing is often very political.
It's politics, man, politics.
In the undercard, Virgil Ortiz, one of my favorite prospects to watch. This kid has good fundamentals, fires a good jab, follows that up well with good hooks, moves well in the ring, is aggressive, never throws just one punch at a time. It's always 2, 3, and 4. Virgil Ortiz is an exciting fighter. He's a good kid to watch right now. He's someone that you want to keep your eye on because his stock is just constantly rising. Everybody that they put in front of him with an improved record, he's not starching dudes that are like 2-10. Right now, he's 9-0 with 9 KOs. You would expect a guy with that few fights to be fighting people with like losing records or barely getting into fighting people with winning records. Not so with him. He's fighting dudes that are 10-2, 14-1, things like that. He's got fighters that are good, solid, top shelf fighters in whatever region that they're from. They come in and Virgil Ortiz is steamrolling these guys. No one's been able to last the distance with him. He's a good fighter to keep an eye on. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen him fight, go to YouTube search, because that's how you search Virgil Ortiz. Enter. Watch his fights. Kid's a puncher. Kid's a good boxer. Has the package. Can he take a punch? We still don't know yet. There's still a lot of development left. And when you talk to him, he will say that he has a lot of developing to do. Very humble kid, talks good, has the attitude of somebody that's willing to learn. So he's one that you want to be watching for the future.
I'm watching you.
That tailgate was on and popping. Tom Loeffler became an absolute legend during SuperFly 2 in the Los Angeles boxing scene. Watch Fight Night Instant Boxing, episode 13. Tom Loeffler comes out to the boxing tailgate at the Forum in Los Angeles with a box full of Sorung Visai versus Juan Estrada beer cups from Tecate, hands them out to everybody. It was a joyous celebration. Everyone was having a good time. Tom came out like he was one of the guys, like, hey, I brought you guys some cups. I heard you needed some cups. And then, like he was the homie, Loeffler says, but keep them on the down low. In a move that was not only classy, but showed that he's seeing what his consumers are doing. And he's pulling at those strings of those consumers to make them want to consume more of his product. Tom Loeffler is doing an outstanding job with that, because he just made consumers for life of about 110 people.
Shut up and take my money.
That were out at this boxing tailgate on Saturday at the Forum. But enough about that. The fights. Man, oh man, did SuperFly 2 not live up to the hype? Yes, it did. First, we'll disperse with the undercard stuff. Carlos Cuadras, McWilliams Arroyo. I picked Arroyo to win this fight in the early going, which means right before the fight. And I only picked him because I wanted to piss a lot of people off. But Arroyo did exactly what I told people he would do. Arroyo came in and boxed precisely with good power punching. There was a quote that I had heard, I couldn't tell you who said it, but it was about Bernard Hopkins and it was about Roy Jones Jr. And the quote went like this, or something of this nature. Roy Jones Jr. was a supreme talent, but he was a talent, whereas Bernard Hopkins was a supremely skillful fighter with master fundamentals. That was the difference between Cuadras and Arroyo on Saturday. Whereas Cuadras is an athletic fighter that likes to punch from all angles, move in and out, and do all sorts of athletic stuff in the ring. Whereas McWilliams Arroyo was a fundamentally sound and solid fighter that just boxed. And he boxed well. And all it took to beat Cuadras was someone who was willing to just box well. Arroyo walked away on a decision victory. Now, in the main event, holy smokes.
Holy shit!
Holy smokes. Srisaket, Sorung Visai, Juan Gallo, Francisco Estrada. This was a fight that definitely lived up to the hype. Has me excited to see a rematch. Had the entire forum excited and ready to see a rematch. And if you don't want to see a rematch, you probably didn't watch the fight. This fight was good. It was a tale of two fights. It had momentum swings. It had everything that makes a fight an epic fight. One of those memory building fights where you can always remember where you were when you watched that fight, or what you were doing, or who you were talking to. That is what that fight was on Saturday. You had major momentum swings where Estrada came out early and was boxing the socks off of Sorung Visai, and Sorung Visai, like a tank, like a titanic tiny man, ran through Estrada through rounds 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Estrada comes roaring back, and then the 10th, Sorung Visai starts banging away, and he starts landing those big shots. Estrada's looking like they're pushing him back. And then in the 11th and 12th, holy smokes.
Holy smoke!
Estrada comes right back in, and he's firing, and he's moving, he's punching right off the jab, landing counter left hands on Sorung Visai. This was a fight that was a fight fan's fight. Fought at a very high level. Gallo Estrada, for those people watching the fight on HBO that aren't like you and I, that don't follow every weight division, that don't go on YouTube and search for the mini flyweights or the minimum weight champions just because we want to see these, 105-pound fighters go at it like animals. For those people that had never seen Estrada fight, never even thought or heard that he had fought a guy named Chocolatito on BN, for those people that watched this fight, watched an amazing fight, and now have probably become fans, or they gained that name recognition because this was such a good fight. Estrada, Rungvisai, the rematch. When's it going to happen? Make it happen. Or will there be some interim stuff going on? There's a lot of different opportunities for these guys, whereas you have Ancajas, who could make an excellent fight with either one of these guys. You have Nietes talking about maybe going up in weight. McWilliams, Arroyo looked great against Cuadras. I wouldn't mind seeing Arroyo Estrada fight. I mean, how good would that be? Another Mexico-Puerto Rican rivalry? Come on. There's a lot of options on the table right now that could be done in the interim before SuperFly 3, because it's coming. But you don't want to risk anything going south, because we got to see SuperFly 3. SuperFly 3 has to revolve around Sor Rungvisai and Estrada in a rematch, and if it doesn't, well, I suppose it would kind of be a waste.
Well, if it wasn't, it'd be an awful waste of space.
Because Rungvisai Estrada makes a whole lot more dollars than Estrada, Arroyo, or Rungvisai versus anybody else. So let's see that happen. Doesn't have to be right away. It was a brutal fight. Let the guys rest. Let them heal up. If you give them an interim, maybe don't make it such a high profile card. Have it at the StubHub, or maybe have it in Texas somewhere, and let them face some easier opponents, some stay busy guys, just to get them back in the gym, and then bring them back again together early next summer, early next spring, or maybe even in September. Looking forward to it either way. SuperFly 2 was a monstrous success in Los Angeles. The forum was packed. The forum was loud. It was rowdy. It was a great time in there. No matter where you look, people were smiling, people were drinking, people were yelling, they were having fun, they were cheering. The crowd, the stadium, the feeling in the arena during the fight was electric. It's one of those fights that you're always going to remember being at. Make sure that you go and watch the episode Fight Night Instant Boxing, episode 13. If you don't, you're going to miss out. It's just like you're there. That's all the time we got for you this week. Smash that subscribe button. Push that like button. Comment down below. That's the face you got when you're trolling someone. Twitter, internet, boxing, trolls. Let's go, baby, troll force. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought about the fights. Who'd you think win? Could have gone either way. A lot of people really high on Sor Rungvisai. If you're Mexican, you probably thought Estrada won. Really good fight. Let me know what you think. I'll tell you what I thought. We'll banter back and forth, because that's how you banter. See you guys next week.